Welcome back to the Hockey Show, and today we are talking about who should win the Conn Smythe, as we're just getting hour to hour, getting closer to the Stanley Cup potentially being awarded tonight in just in 2 hours it would begin, but it would take 3 hours. So by the end of tonight, the Stanley Cup could be awarded, which means the Conn Smythe, the MVP of the playoffs, will be awarded. So there's been a little bit of a debate among people, mainly between two players because one team's basically out of it, but I decided let's look at both the teams and decide and discuss who should take it. So, first off, let's talk about the team that could most likely win the Stanley Cup tonight and take home that Conn Smythe. So, for the Florida Panthers, right? For a team that is so deep and so well-rounded, there's a lot of good elements to this team. And this is one of those teams where it's hard to truly narrow an MVP, because the whole reason this team is so good is they're built like a brick wall. They are a completely constructed, cemented, put together wall that is that you could put, if this is one of those knives on what's that, the Forged in Fire, is that Fired and Forged, the sword making show? This is one of those they're a sword that has been properly crafted. It's not just one element, it's the whole sword that they can chop the freaking pig in half and it goes right through it. And that's what this team does so well. They're so well-rounded, so it's hard to kind of specifically pick one player because everyone chips in. But I think the main ones, right, the main two that everyone would debate and it has to be is Barkov or Bobrovsky. Sasha Barkov, first in points on the team. He's the Selke winner. He's the best defensive forward. He shuts down so many guys. There's an element to his game that is unparalleled to anyone in the NHL. Every year, we talk about, sometimes it's Nick Suzuki is such a two-way guy. It's Mark Stone, because he went to the finals, big two-way guy, right? Bergeron, of course. But no. None of them compare to what Sasha Barkov does. What this guy can do to completely obliterate and shut down any play to a Draisaitl or a McDavid or a Pastrnak or a Pastrnak or a Kucherov, the way, it's insane. If you watch those games against the Lightning, how he just stick lift, get out of here, fuck off Kucherov, and he just can turn the puck away and go back at the other end of the ice, is insane what Barkov can do. And not just that, but the element that he can actually put points on the board. That is a huge factor. He's first in points. Because I would say a round ago, I'd be maybe it goes towards maybe one way, because Barkov, he is one of the top centermen, so he's going to be up there in the points just a given. But the way that he's been able to get his way to first place after his amazing play so far in the finals, he has been unparalleled. He shuts down the other team's top guys. Paul Maurice pairs him up against them on purpose, and he does it all year long. The guy's absolutely insane. If you subtract him from this lineup, it's going to be hell. But that's the thing, is that this team, especially in the finals, has been going through hell. And Sergei Bobrovsky, this guy, this goalie, has been the most unreal, shut-down guy who's put on one of the greatest performances that I don't think people are thankful enough for. He is so good. The way that, because here's the thing. Here's what I hate, is that sometimes people focus only on one thing than the other. People are only complaining, the Oilers, they suck so bad they can't score a goal. And it's they act as if it's the Oilers' complete fault, that it's all on them. No. Between Barkov, Bobrovsky, and Forsling, this team, and I also gotta say, Tkachuk has been incredible as well when it comes to the two-way game, but not as much as Barkov has. But Bobrovsky, the way he's been able to eat up every single puck, shut down everything in each series. There's been multiple. Remember, first round, the amazing backdoor diving glove save, just like Superman making the giant save there. The way he was able to go across and make that huge save. And he's done it against the Bruins. There was multiple times against the Bruins where they had a couple good chances that easily could have made that series a little bit tighter than it was. But no, he shut them down. The Rangers, the Panthers couldn't do anything against Igor Shesterkin, and he did his job in net to make sure the Rangers couldn't get anything going either. And the Panthers could outlive them, right? This series so far, Bobrovsky, if you subtract him out of the net, I don't know if there's another goalie in the world other than Shesterkin or any of the guys that Bobrovsky has to go toe-to-toe against for the Panthers so far, and Swayman and Shesterkin and Vasilevsky. There's only 4 goalies on earth, I think, that could actually manage what they've gone up against, and those guys are all out, and Bobrovsky's the one that's lived to see another day. That is unreal. I'm going to say X's to Verhaeghe. He just doesn't do too much on both ends of the ice. Matthew Tkachuk is like my big one, where it's like if he could have gotten a couple more big goals this playoffs like he did last year, he would be a shoo-in for it. But he is number 2 in points. He was like number 1 like most of the first 3 rounds. I think he has been for the first 3 rounds. I think only Barkov just finally took over. It's just he doesn't hit. His height hasn't been reached what Barkov has done this season. Barkov has outshined him in the playoffs this year. My big one, though, my big shout-out is going to be to Forsling. Truly, if this was like... Forsling has been so good. He was there a lot of times for this team when they needed him. He was like the only defenseman to score a goal in that round against the Rangers. He's been absolutely unreal. He shuts down guys so well, just like Barkov. It's just Barkov gets the edge by getting the points on the board too. So for the Panthers, I'm gonna honestly go towards Bobrovsky. I know I've just been pumping the tires of Sasha Barkov this whole time, but Bobrovsky, if you remove him from this lineup, this team is toast. Like, against the Bruins, there was a couple really good chances where the Bruins could have definitely have taken over that series. Against the Rangers, if they didn't have a goalie that was able to take down some of those great chances that the Panthers coughed up to them, they could be in trouble. And especially the Stanley Cup Finals where they're up 3-0, the biggest thing has been Bobrovsky. So to me, I'm going to go Bob. But for the Edmonton Oilers is the interesting argument, because they're down 3-0. For them to win the Stanley Cup, they have to win 4 games in a row. Right now, Connor McDavid leads the NHL in points. He's number 1 with 34. He's first in the team, first in the NHL. And second is Leon Draisaitl. Third is Bouchard. Right? So when it comes to points, these guys can produce, except in the finals. And that, if you're watching this video, I'm sure you're well aware of that. So to me, if this team, if they can win the Stanley Cup and turn it all around and go on and win 4 in a row and win the Cup, who is going to shine, I think, is the biggest question mark. Because right now, like McDavid, he's got a lot of assists, not too many goals, a lot of assists. Draisaitl, he's getting goals and assists. He's kind of been the best of both worlds. Hyman just can score goals at will sometimes, and it's kind of weird to watch. So to me, if I was to lean to one of them, it would be, obviously these guys are producing throughout the first 3 rounds. And honestly, against like the Kings, I don't really see anyone's like game really being like, oh, yep, that guy's the reason they won. It's just kind of like they dominated them. The Canucks, I would say McDavid wasn't at his best in that series. Hyman and Draisaitl, like they had good series, but I would say none of them really like stole that series for them. That was maybe the one that Bouchard really kind of took off in, but I wouldn't really lean to him. So for like against the Stars, it's a hard debate. So to me, I think the biggest question mark is who, if this team can win 4 in a row, who wins the Stanley Cup then? If this team can win the Stanley Cup in 4 games in a row, who is going to be the one that shines? And to me, the answer would have to be Connor McDavid. Leon Draisaitl has done too little in this final so far for me to give him any credit. He has been a dumpster fire. And I know everyone's making fun of McDavid for like, oh, is he even playing? But honestly, if you watch him on the ice, he's trying to make some plays. They've been uneventful, really, but the way he can weave into the net, weave into those areas and try to get things going, he's the one getting something going. Hyman, he tries, he doesn't get anything going ever. Leon Draisaitl has truly been a disappearing act. Bouchard has just coughed off way too many horrible chances for me to give it to any of him. So to me, McDavid, if they get points going on the board, it's going to be his fault. My big honorable mention and dark horse for the Oilers, though, would have to be Mattias Ekholm. I think Ekholm has been such an amazing defenseman who can play. He's easily their best actual defenseman, actually playing defense. He's such a big player. He can stop plays, but he's also getting a couple points on the board, especially in the finals here. He's got 1 goal and I think an assist. Like he's been there, right? He is one of those guys that is like one of the few players actually reliable on both sides of the ice. But he's not going to get it. If the Oilers win the Stanley Cup, even like I feel like regardless of anything, the NHL would be required to give McDavid the Conn Smythe. Like, it just would have to happen. I just don't think there's any way in the world, like, like, if the Penguins won it, they have to give it to Sidney Crosby. Even the years where I'm like, yeah, that was Matt Murray's fault, but whatever. Like, this have to go to Connor McDavid. It would have to. There's no way they would. If there's any sort of claim that they could give it to McDavid, they're going to give it to him. Unless he literally died, they would probably still give it to him out of remorse. So to me, it's McDavid. Bouchard, no, he's done so little and defensively. Like, sure, he can get points on the board, but he's on the benefit of being like the best offensive defenseman on the team, so these get paired up with McDavid and stuff when that's an easy combination to get you a lot of assists. And to me, Skinner, are you kidding me? I know, like, I think someone might out there try to say Skinner, but you would be absolutely ridiculous. So to me, I think it really goes down to this. It's either Bobrovsky for the Florida Panthers or it's Connor McDavid for the Oilers. That's the debate. Barkov, easily number 2, actually. And even if Barkov has like an amazing game tonight and he wins them the Stanley Cup with a hat trick, I don't think that does it. I think the overall performance of what Bobrovsky has done, and without him, I don't think the Cats are maybe in the finals. They might be in the finals, but they're definitely in. It's a horse series for them where things stand right now. But I guess that's all I gotta say. So thank you for watching this. If you've made it this far, please, I am begging you, please subscribe. And until next time, too sweet. Have an amazing day, and ta-ta for now.